Ladies and gentlemen, this is TVP World. You're watching another edition of Break the Fake, where we debunk fake news and combat false narratives. I'm your host, Benjamin Lee, and let's get rolling. Now, let's dive into the bizarre world of international diplomacy with none other than Hungary's Prime Minister, Viktor Orban. Hungary took over the presidency of the Council of the EU on July 1st, and what did our dear leader do? Well, he immediately embarked on a whirlwind of peace mission, and I use that term as loosely as possible. Firstly, he made a surprise visit to Kyiv, then 3 days later, popped over to Moscow, because, nothing says peace quite like cozying up to the guy who started the war. But wait, there's more. Next stop, Beijing, to chat with China about organizing a peace conference for Ukraine. Then this was followed by a trip to the United States, where he met with none other than Donald Trump during the NATO summit. Orban is really making the rounds to spread his brand of peace. Now, he's calling for renewed EU-Russia diplomatic relations and a political offensive towards the global south, claiming that Europe has lost their recognition due to its stance on the Ukraine war. In the same breath, he criticized US President Joe Biden for his efforts to stay in the race, suggesting Biden's pro-war policies won't change and thus can't be trusted to start a new policy. So there you have it, Viktor Orban, the fake dove of peace, coming up with a solution to Ukraine conflict, which is essentially a tour of autocrats and strongmen. Because if there's one thing that history has taught us, is that pandering to dictators always work out so well. Hungarian intelligence claimed to have thwarted an assassination attempt on Prime Minister Viktor Orban. According to a Hungarian publication, the plan was to blow up his car on the way to the airport just before his flight to Moscow on July 5th. Now, here's the kicker. The would-be assassin was allegedly a Ukrainian refugee, conveniently discussing the plot in Ukrainian and supposedly linked to Ukrainian intelligence. Because, of course, subtle espionage involves discussing your assassination plot in your native tongue over easily interceptable channels. This story is so outlandish it wouldn't be surprising if a team of Russian propagandists drafted it up during a vodka-fueled brainstorming session. Now let's take a moment to marvel at the latest spectacle from Russia. Yesterday, their largest nuclear power plant experienced a major failure that plunged southern Russia into darkness. Conveniently, Kremenergo, the Crimean energy distribution and supply company, called this blackout a necessary measure, because over 100 electrical substations going offline, tram and trolley buses grinding to a halt, and a heat wave pushing temperatures over 40 degrees Celsius is nothing but necessary.
Смотрите, вот здесь можно понять, что вот в большом доме сзади света нет, а спереди в доме есть. Вот.
Now, this large-scale failure happened while only 2 out of 4 units at the Rostov nuclear power plant were operational. Apparently, Unit 3 was shut down for routine maintenance on June 22nd, and let's not forget the delightful detail that the entire southern Russian power grid is overloaded due to a sudden surge in electricity demand caused by the summer heat. So, are we really to believe that this massive outage is just a coincidence? Or maybe, just maybe, Russia's infrastructure is as stable as a house of cards in a wind tunnel? For now, let's talk about the latest heartfelt plea from some Russian soldiers, the 5th Company of the 3rd Battalion of the 7th Guards Motor Rifle Regiment. Yes, it's a mouthful, but stick with me. They recently had a light bulb moment. They realized that their mission to eradicate fascism might actually just be a one-way ticket to getting nullified by their own commanders. So, what do? well, they appealed to Putin himself.
Спустя месяц, по обещанию командира роты, что нам будут везти продовольствие, еду, воду, будем раз в 2 недели отдыхать в тыловых лагерях. Все эти обещания, это было все пустышка. Тем самым с продолжительностью месяц, без еды, без воды, без каких-либо условий для проживания, мы выходим на различные штурма, на различные задачи, которые поставляют нам люди, которых мы ни разу не видели. Ведут нас на убой. Из 110 человек нашей роты осталось менее 25 человек. И каждым днем наши ребята приезжают 300-ми, 200-е остаются там. 300-е это в лучшем случае. Каждый человек здесь вот сейчас находится. Он счастлив от того, что он вышел из этого ада, из этой нечисти, что отдает нам такие приказы. Я боюсь за свою жизнь. Не от того, что я пришел выполнять серьезное дело, так же, как вот ребята. А от того, что когда мы выполняем задание, по нам же, наша же арта работает, минометы. Нас хотят искоренить, любым путем обнулить. Мы не знаем, что и как, пока мы здесь. Вот, ребята, вот сами скажите, как есть. Вот.
Да, все так и есть. Никто не отказывается выполнять свою задачу.
Наши матеря не слышали нас больше месяца. Никто не может понять, что происходит. Почему такое отношение к нам? Мы добровольно подписали эти контракты, участвовать в СВО, искоренить этот фашизм. А в итоге фашизм, он среди нас и пытается искоренить нас любыми путями. Я прошу вас, Владимир Владимирович, и вся общественность, вмешайтесь в это. Мы не одни. Здесь много таких людей.
These guys signed up to invade another country, fully ready to dish out death. But heaven forbid they face any danger themselves. It's like joining a lion taming act and then being shocked when the lion tries to eat you. Well, good luck, boys. You might as well send a strongly worded letter to Santa Claus for all the good that'll do. Now let us bring you a dose of Russian reality. What consequences do Russians experience as a result of the war? A conflict that, of course, Russia initiated against Ukraine. Maybe they face some difficulties because of the sanctions or closed shops. Well, the main problem for the civilian population in Russia seems to be soldiers coming back from the front lines in Ukraine. Recently, some Russian Telegram channels claimed that the drunk hero of the special military operation terrorized his fellow Russian citizens in a supermarket. Let's watch the clip together.
Сидите, сука, дома, заебись. А я там, блядь, сука, кровь свою проливаю, блядь. А вы ступуны на ты. Педики ебаные, блядь. А я, сука, за вас, сука, убиваю людей, блядь. Тарасы, блядь. А где у нас водки, блядь? Берёй, сука, ступуны ебаные, блядь.
So yeah, this is Russia for you. A soldier who went to kill people in Ukraine for money is now screaming in shops, "Where's the vodka?" I wonder what could possibly make this video even more Russian than it already is. A drunk Russian soldier looking for vodka while claiming that he killed for the Russian people. And with that, we conclude this edition of Break the Fake, but for more news, update, and commentary, please stay tuned to TVP World.